All right, this is a big day. It is episode 0001 of the Six Pack Challenge podcast here. You see how I gave us now I've given us up to, we can have 9,999 episodes.
That's
right?
great.
So I've
really building longevity there.
Exactly. Or, we might not be back next week.
Exactly.
But,
it could be like a version thing where we're on version 0.001. We'll never hit 1.0, but
I like it. So my name is Mark. You are?
I am Keith.
I didn't know his name. I had to get his name here first of all. So yeah, no, we're ready to go with this. Our social media, which is just booming. I think we may have 2 followers to start this.
Wow, that's pretty good considering we made it 12, 14 hours ago.
That's true. Yeah, I haven't even checked actually today. We might be up to 3 or 4, but it is at Six Pack Cast on Twitter. So I would invite you there to follow along and tweet us. Maybe we should send something out now so that we know who's listening. Tweet us. The most erotic picture of a WWE superstar you can find on the internet. And then,
I don't think you realize the can of worms you just opened.
Well, this is going to be an ongoing joke now because, now, when we're on episode 50 or something and people are just discovering this at the beginning, we're still going to be getting these just really disgusting pictures.
Of Randy Orton and John Cena.
There's a good Seth Rollins dick pic out there I invite you to check out. You can, start with that one if you would like. How about we start with, how we got into the wrestling back in the day. How did you, do you have an earliest memory? Do you have a cool story on how everyone's got that moment, right? Where they're like, I became a wrestling fan and now here I am in my late 20s or 30s and I'm still watching it and all my friends aren't anymore.
Earliest moment, yes. Cool story, absolutely not.
I just threw that in there. I thought maybe someone has one.
So if you go off of this story, I shouldn't like wrestling. But when I was just a wee lad, I was browsing through the channels. And then one day I saw Monday Night Raw. And it was Marc Mero versus Farouk for the Intercontinental title.
What a start.
Right?
Yeah.
And then whatever controlled me to go to my VCR, record that match. Only that match. I stopped recording after that match and didn't get the rest of Raw.
You're dating it back there with the VCR. I love
right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that was back when it was the giant RAW letters.
Okay.
But I fell in love with that match. I brought that tape over to my friend's house. We reenacted this match between Marc Mero and Farouk.
Who won?
Over and over
Who won?
again.
You remember?
Marc Mero. He won the Intercontinental title.
This is when he actually won it. Okay.
Yeah. So, that was my earliest wrestling memory. And since then, I kind of fell in love, watched it on and off for a few years.
You may be the only person on this planet who got into wrestling because of Marc Mero.
Oh, yes.
You know what? There's got to be somebody out
Johnny
there.
B. Bad, whole different story.
Yeah, Johnny B. Bad. You know what? I always thought Johnny B. Bad could have transitioned well into the WWE around that time, but for whatever reason.
But then the wild man, Marc Mero, happened. That was kind of the end of
Vince didn't own it, damn it. So they couldn't do it, that's for sure.
How about yourself?
Well, okay, I have a broken past with wrestling. I remember as a wee child, Hulk Hogan, I had all the toys, the LJN figures and everything. And then...
And now you say I date myself and you're talking about Hulk Hogan.
Well, I know, this is way back here. And then I kind of got out of it, I guess you could say, probably just because, my dad didn't have it on the TV, because when you're that small, you don't really pick what you're watching. You're just kind of watching whatever's there. And I remember being at my grandpa's house one time, and this might actually trump Marc Mero, because I remember seeing Man Mountain Rock on TV, and I have no idea why that image sticks in my head, just this big man with long hair just giving her on his guitar and that, and I'm like, this is cool. Is this the Hulk Hogan stuff? Is this wrestling? Is this what it's like? And that was kind of reintroduced me in the mid-90s there for a bit, and then I kind of swayed away until I became a teenager. And that's when I went full in WCW. My friends had all the action figures, and I remember going over and playing the Nintendo 64, WCW, NWO Revenge.
Oh, those games were so great.
Right?
I probably played World Tour for 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Joe Bruiser cannot be beat as far as I'm concerned.
WCW, and then of course that once you get the wrestling bug, you'll watch anything wrestling. So
true.
Eventually moved into WWE, and here we are today.
And here we are.
Here we are. All right. Hopefully we haven't bored you yet. Now, the kind of idea behind this podcast is it's a six-pack challenge. And we're not talking like, like Unforgiven 1999 with the British Bulldog. I still don't understand why he was in that match, but
Sometimes you just need filler.
Yeah, I guess,
6 spots can be hard to fill.
yeah, and Austin was injured, so he was the special enforcer. We're talking actual six-pack. This is what we're going to do. We're going to grab a six-pack. We're going to bust one open and kind of like a beer a topic type of thing, right? So
I think
we're
that's
going
the plan.
Yeah, so we're going to have like 5 things that happened during the week, kind of either on TV or just big wrestling news or something that we're going to go through. And then the 6th is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like, we all know as wrestling fans, not everything works.
Yep.
So sometimes you just see it happen and you're like, that was absolute fucking shit. And
Boy, did we get a gift this week.
Yeah. I mean, this is really why we're starting it this week because, wow, I think if you watch wrestling this week, you probably already know what it is. But shall we bust into topic number 1 here?
Let's do it.
All right.
Well, first, let's bust into the 6-pack challenge.
Oh, that was pretty.
That was pretty good.
That was, that was right together.
One take, done.
Yeah.
We don't need 9,999 after that. We can just hang it up, probably.
Exactly. All right. Where do we want to start here? Maybe we should start with, are we going to go Raw, SmackDown, or you know what? I think it doesn't matter really, does it? Like, let's just go anywhere. And I think like fresh on everyone's mind because it's the way SmackDown ended. AJ Nakamura, the stipulation that, Nakamura actually had to like say on SmackDown, because he won the match the week before, which I was very confused about the situation on how, all right, we're going to have a match just to figure out
the stipulation
for the real match.
And they're not going to say it after the match.
No.
They're going to wait till next week, really draw it out.
I don't mind that part because I feel like a lot of times things get given away on like social media or something. But it's the fact that, okay, but you just had the match. So why are we, I don't know.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, it did. I thought I heard it wrong the first couple times. I'm like, wait, so whoever wins this match, it just gets to pick the next match? So, but yes, this is what has
that's
happened.
actually exactly what it was.
Your thoughts on the bomb that was dropped by Nakamura that it is a last man standing match?
Or according to Nakamura, the last man standing.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I'm sorry. I get the language barrier, and I mean, I can't even imagine where to start learning a new language. I'm just not that smart. So he's already up.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Nakamura, his promos when, I honestly did not understand what he was saying yesterday when he was saying knees to face. He's like, knee, fight, and I'm like, what is he saying? Like, what is... And then I had to, listen to the crowd chant and break it down, and somehow, 10,000 people muddled all together. I could understand that better, so...
That went way over my head, so... But, I mean, you got to give him credit, at least. At least...
Oh, yeah.
He's trying, and it's not just, a mute character.
And to be honest, he is much further ahead than he was when he first got there, too.
100%. So maybe in a year from now, we'll not even be talking about this at all.
Exactly.
But as far as the match goes, I mean, this is a really good direction to take the AJ Styles Nakamura feud. Admittedly, it's been a slow start. It was probably one of the most disappointing WrestleMania matches that I've seen in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, they're doing something with it finally. It started building more character with Nakamura, turning him heel, giving him the new theme song. So far, it's all been great things since that WrestleMania match, character-wise, and now I guess it's time to see if they're going to deliver match-wise, because their match at Backlash, it was all right. It was better than the WrestleMania match.
It was a step up.
Yeah, but it was
from
a step up
WrestleMania.
in the right direction.
Yeah.
So now you're given the stipulation of a last man standing match. It kind of plays into the whole low blow thing.
Yeah.
Because it's been a killer for AJ every time that he's been kicked in the dick. So...
Dick shot.
That is the way that, I think I just figured it out. That is the way that Nakamura wins the title with a low blow. AJ does not get up for the 10 count. And yeah, I'm into that. So I like this stipulation a lot.
I don't like it. I don't know. I don't like it because, and here's why. I feel like a last man standing match is almost like a last resort. Like Triple H and Shawn Michaels back in the day, friends that just became bitter enemies and they absolutely just want to kill each other. And one of them is going to be left in a bloody heap. And I don't find that type of anger, I guess, towards Nakamura and AJ right now. So I was kind of hoping for something different. I was hoping for maybe we all know what kind of workers they are. So to prove themselves, like an Iron Man match or something, right?
True.
60-minute Iron Man match. What I thought was, you were mentioning the low blows. I thought it'd be awesome if, like right out of the gate, Nakamura gives him like 3 low blows, like gets like 3 quick pins, right? So he's up like 3-0, and it's like, how is AJ possibly going to come back from this? And then they tell that story. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes, but I'm not fully on board with the last man standing match.
I guess we'll see.
All right, shall we move on?
Let's do it.
Wait, I wanted to get actually one more thing on that. Your opinion on the new music.
It's interesting. It's kind of been killed for me in the way that there's this hilarious Instagram video that went out afterwards where somebody translated the lyrics. I'll put it on our social media, just so there's a reason to go check it out.
Yeah. And, hey, our first post. Go check this out, everybody.
It's all I can think about every time I hear that song. It's like, oh, I'll kick your nuts into your guts. I'm Shinsuke Nakamura. AJ won't have kids anymore. So that's all I can think about now, and it's kind of great from that.
All right. Well, he is living up to that, that's for sure. Moving on in a totally different direction, we do have Money in the Bank coming up in mid-June here, and the qualifying matches have been going on for both the men and the women. A little bit of a shocker, I'd say, last night on SmackDown with Lana making her way into the Money in the Bank ladder match, taking out Billie Kay. What do you think?
Ooh, that's dangerous. It's interesting how it's basically every year around this time that Lana gets like a competitor push. Because last year she was in the title match at Money in the Bank, if I'm remembering correctly. And now she's actually in the Money in the Bank match.
Well, it's the first match that she had actually won, they were saying. The first one-on-one match, right? Yep. Taking out Billie Kay there.
And like, I think this is her first match in 11 months on television, because she kind of had I think she faced Naomi at the pay-per-view after Money in the Bank, and then that was it.
I thought she'd given it up, to be honest. I thought it was like, okay, she tried her hand to being a wrestler.
Hey, okay, Lana's a better manager, let's keep it in a manager thing, but no.
And is this just her, too? Because I feel like if it's WWE pushing her to be a wrestler, why? We don't have any of those. There are no strictly managers outside of Paul Heyman anymore.
No, and I think it's just a gap that needs to be filled because, I mean, no offense to Lana with this, but she's just a way better manager. When you have so much top-tier female talent on both Raw and SmackDown right now, if Lana's that good as a manager, why does she need to be a competitor? More importantly, why does she need to be in a ladder match? Oh my God.
I will offend her. She fucking sucks in the ring, to be honest. And she's hot as hell and the most interesting part of SmackDown a lot of the time. So, now with all this said, I can see her winning.
No.
I can see her winning.
There is a 0% chance.
Hear me out. Hear me out. This is my theory, okay?
Is this going to be like a James Ellsworth winning the Money in the Bank? They're going to do that again?
Possibly. Let me put my tinfoil hat on here for just a second and come up with this theory here. So I'm thinking possibly, somehow, obviously, she doesn't have many moves in the ring, so she's going to get into that match with all of these experienced, Charlotte and Becky Lynch and Natalya and everybody, right, who can do everything. She's going to get taken out with, one move early and then play the old possum that we've seen in the Royal Rumble many, many times. I like Curtis Axel a couple years ago or something.
Okay.
Where you just hide. Everyone kind of forgets about them or whatever. And then the women, hopefully, they can put on this amazing match, just ladders and bodies and broken bodies along the way and everything, right? Yeah. So this is going to happen. And then all of a sudden, Lana kind of sneaks in there, and just imagine that pop for a second where she gets in the ring and stands up and there's all these bodies down. She just looks around to the crowd and the crowd's like,
the ladder's set up in the middle of the ring.
The crowd, oh my God, this could happen. This could happen. She gets up there, pulls it down somehow. Maybe Aiden English even comes out and helps somehow or something, right? Rusev wins the men's. All of a sudden, we have Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. This takes it a whole new direction because, Money in the Bank it's a great concept every year, but it's the same thing. There's a guy carrying around. Oh, is he going to cash in? Is he not? This adds a whole new dynamic to it. So I'm going to take the hat off now.
So the follow-up on that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna call you out on this one. You would see Lana as SmackDown Women's Champion from this.
No, I think she'll lose.
She fails the cash.
She fails the cash in somehow. Okay, here now you got the wheels turning here. Aiden English somehow screws her over, so she doesn't actually win it. That's the breakup of Rusev Day.
Huh.
Bam!
Now I'm sad. I never want Rusev Day to break up.
Book it, Vince. Come on. All right. Next one. WWE in a massive reported shit ton of money deal.
Huge.
That is an actual level that you can sell something for, a shit ton.
I'm sure Vince has sold things for, or bought things for just, give him a shit ton of money,
Just
damn
give
it.
it to him. He's lost a shit ton as well, if we want to go into that. But
XFL merch on sale now.
XFL, he was about to lose it again in 2020, likely. So what do we think of this? I mean, this is you got some details here on the deal.
To go into the story quickly, I took this from ESPN, and the WWE has agreed in principle to make Fox the new home of SmackDown Live in what was reported as a massive offer. Now, here's the good stuff. Sources said that the deal will begin in October 2019, and it will move to Friday nights. So SmackDown's going back to Fridays.
So we have to endure those terrible commercials again, like, hey, guess what? It's on Fridays now, or it's on Tuesdays, or fucking Wednesdays, or it is bounced around so much that
It's crazy.
Okay, personally, just going about your daily life and watching wrestling on a weeknight, where did you prefer it? Because it's been pretty well everywhere now.
I think the spot that it's in on Tuesday is perfect because you can kind of front load your week with wrestling and then you still have your weekend, move on. Then you can kind of lump it all together, get all the wrestling out of the way, move on with your life. And if you still need more wrestling, you can tune into the network or whatever. But this really spreads it out in a way, honestly, I'm not a big fan of. Hey, it's great that Vince got all this money, that SmackDown's finding a new home on Fox. Fox has a pretty good history with wrestling shows. I would argue that TNA Impact's glory years
We don't say those words on this podcast.
TNA is a dirty word.
No, I'm sure it'll come up at some point. Yeah.
I'm kind of a fan of TNA. They're doing good things right now.
You know what? I didn't want to publicly admit this, but I think I'm about to. I used to love TNA back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
it was great. And those days that I'm talking about, they were on Fox.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
It really sets a good precedent.
Yeah.
But moving it to Fridays is just a tough pill to swallow.
It's just one of those things where it's WWE. They're obviously already established, but if they want to get those casual fans or whatever, you got to keep it somewhere so people know when it's on. And then they'll run into it because things take years, but we're watching it all the time, so we know when it's on and everything. But the casual fan, it's going to take a good year or two, couple years before people realize the pattern of this is when this is on and everything. But they keep bouncing it around.
And to put your mind in the space of a casual person. You're getting home Friday night, getting ready for your plans. Are you going to watch SmackDown or are you going to start your weekend?
I know.
It's kind of a death spot. I think that's a problem that they ran into the first time it was on Fridays back in the Batista World Championship days.
Yeah.
So.
I always enjoyed Thursdays. I mean, that's where it originated. And I kind of found it broke up the week. Okay, you got wrestling, you got a day off, and then you got more wrestling. But it's totally from ball game now because we've got, it's live and everything. So I think it broke down to a reported $4 million per episode or something.
Something around there. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but
I'm going to make that number up and we're going to say,
as we said earlier, a shit ton of money, damn it.
A shit ton, and he's going to fucking love it. So now Disney doesn't own Fox yet, do they? Because they've been reported, flirting with that.
Not yet, I don't think.
So I'm just will Disney eventually, be partnering with WWE? I feel like Disney just is going to take over the world anyways.
Oh, yeah, they're going to own all media.
They already have. They have, Marvel and Star Wars and everything that anyone ever cares about. So.
Will Stephanie McMahon be a Disney princess?
She's Daddy's little princess. That's for sure.
Now she'll be Mickey's little princess, damn it.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, my.
I'd watch that movie. I'd watch
Lord.
it. We're going to tweet that out later on, too, if we can find some bootleg copy of that. All right, moving on. Ronda Rousey is challenging for the Raw Women's title here. A good, 3 months into her WWE career now?
Yeah.
Give or take. Are we okay
That's
with this?
Interesting. No. Honestly, no, not at all.
No. Too fast or what?
It's too fast, and I think most of my problem is that it's happening on the same show as Brock Lesnar. It's a bit of a jump, but you have two champions that they won't defend it as often probably, and there's no serious contenders at this point for the championship. Like, let's say Ronda Rousey wins.
Mm-hmm.
Who else in the women's division is going to have a hope in hell? Now, that being said, I don't think she's going to win. If I were to put on my tinfoil hat, I would bet that
okay, what's going to happen here?
Stephanie McMahon costs her the title, and it continues that feud, because I think they would paint themselves into a corner when it comes to Ronda holding the title and just who the hell is going to beat her.
Yeah.
But then on the other side, you have Brock in the exact same position. So then you're down to like one major title on Raw, singles title.
We've got the legit MMA people just dominating WWE.
Exactly.
And no one
And
can
then
beat them. And
it's the same story for the men and women. And it's a poor move, I feel like. And then just like they were touting on Raw, this is Ronda's first singles match, and it's for a title?
yeah. Well, it's if you think, really, it's the same story as Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
I
But
mean,
even Brock had a 6-month lead up.
Yeah.
Like, he won the King of the Ring before he won the title. He had a decent singles run.
True. I just always, I remember thinking, probably because I was such a, in love with The Rock, that anyone who possibly could take him out. I just fucking hated it right away. But, like, I just remember thinking that, like, this new guy won already? Like, you still, again, like, establish something. Because where do you go once you give them the title run or something? And then
Well, you
all of a
do
sudden-
some stuff for a couple of years, and then you flip off the crowd, and nobody sees you again.
Yeah, true. I guess take your money and take a shit ton of money and run. But no, I don't know. I mean, like, and then it just becomes, because they always say, like, oh, if there's people on the card that, well, you gotta, use all points of the card. You gotta be up, and then you're gonna be down and everything. Well, okay, if you're putting Ronda up there right away, then all of a sudden she's not gonna be special again in, like, a year or something. It's like, oh, there's Ronda Rousey. Like, why not build it for a year at least? And, like, I'm a big, I love when they build something for WrestleMania, and I feel like we get less and less of that every single year. Like, it's like they try to treat every little pay-per-view as something huge. Oh, we gotta make this amazing. Well, and then WrestleMania doesn't seem that crazy, like, special or anything. It's supposed to be special. It's supposed to be built for the whole year or something, which I loved. I think the best example of them doing that over the past couple of years is, like, Jericho Owens. The match didn't really deliver, but I found that story played out for like a good year and a half before they got there.
It's interesting you say that, though, because if you really break it down, most of the times that they save those big WrestleMania matches, they don't deliver. AJ Nakamura, Owens Jericho.
Yeah.
Is it really the right way? When
I wouldn't put AJ Nakamura in the same category there, though, because I feel like that one got thrown to get,
But even, like, go back to Money in the Bank last year when they had that little tease and they're like, people got excited, like, oh, okay, I want to see this.
Yeah.
And then, like, since they both went into the WWE on the main roster, everybody called that a WrestleMania caliber match. And then we got that WrestleMania match. And it was the shits.
Yeah.
So
well, it really was.
Is that really the better way to go about it when you have things like Cena, Roman just kind of coming and going and everybody's okay with it?
Well, I just don't feel like, I guess if something's hot at the time, then they want to strike when it's hot, but I feel like this isn't even hot. So it's just like...
No.
And
that is fair. That is fair.
And I think my biggest problem with this whole, like, feud is how it even started. The whole Nia walking up on, like, they're on the red carpet for some bullshit event somewhere, and she's giving, like, a smiley interview. They couldn't even get, like, they had, like, Kathy Kelly or whatever doing the interview there. Couldn't they, like, this was like a place full of media there. Couldn't they, like, just, hey, let's grab someone from...
You can get the exclusive. Just go along with us.
Let's get the E! Network or whatever. Let's pump fucking Total Bellas at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Let's get them to do the interview so it looks a little more legit, other than, we're just somewhere else. And Nia all of a sudden is super smiley and happy and comes up and everyone's, like, having fun. And then Charlotte plays, like, the weird goofy friend that, like, gets, you should do it, Rhonda. And it's like, what is this? Like, I don't want to watch this. Everyone's just happy and friends. And I mean, on Raw, we saw it break down a little bit where there was a little bit of,
Oh, the truth came out, Mark.
Yeah. A little bit of heat between them with Stephanie glaring over their shoulder there. So every time I see Stephanie now, I'm just going to think of weird things with her and Mickey Mouse since she brought that up. She's got those white gloves on and, like, imagine what anyways. Okay, so we're not a fan of Ronda going for the title so far, but you don't think she's going to take it?
I don't think she's going to take it.
Okay. What do you think about, just before we leave this one, Nia and, the whole face turn and that we've seen over the past month or two.
The monster thing wasn't working, so I guess it was worth giving a shot. So I don't think it's been awful, but
Yeah.
the whole Smiley thing, how long will that really last?
See, I think for a while there, they were running like a parallel between her and Braun Strowman.
And that was great
Yeah.
until Nia couldn't hold up her end of the bargain.
Yeah. And I was
And like
a little,
almost killed Charlotte a couple times.
well, yeah, there's that. But, so I was a little worried that, they were going to be doing that. This is off topic for a second here, but like they were going to start doing that with Braun and making him too goofy when they had him with the giant, with the cello or whatever he was playing and that. But there's something about him where he can still pull off being the monster and like throw in a little humor at the time, which I think is, fucking money for them. Like they love that.
Braun Strowman's gold.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to get these hands.
Yeah, get these hands. Which okay, we're going to get off topic. Braun, you know what? Episode 2, maybe we'll get into Braun. There's a little bit of a tease. See, this is what we're going to be doing. So,
Very exciting.
Episode 0002, we should say. All right, so not last but not least, the fifth topic that we're going to get into, the fifth one that we're actually going to discuss before we get to, again, that absolute shit show that we saw this week, which is going to be the sixth one. Number 5, Daniel Bryan's return here. Can we just kind of get some comments on what do you think about, things that have happened since he's come back? I mean, now we know he's going to be facing Samoa Joe. How do you think his return's been so far?
Good.
Yeah?
The one-word answer is good.
It was good.
Yeah,
All right.
I like that Daniel Bryan guy. I think he's got a pretty good future.
Just want to tussle his hair, the little fella, but no.
It's one of those things that's really weird once you see it and it's actually a real thing. It's almost hard to believe. Like, okay, Daniel Bryan is wrestling every week in the WWE.
Yep.
Go back a year and imagine that. It's kind of ridiculous. And the cast thing was a bit hit or miss, and
I like the casting. I just felt it was a really easy, big guy making fun of little guy. Obviously, you hate Cass right away, and that's kind of what they wanted to do with that. They want to establish him as a heel and whatnot.
But speaking of people not holding up their end of the bargain, Big Cass.
No, wait, how so? Because I'm a big Cass supporter.
I wasn't a fan of their match.
Okay.
Matches in the way that you could tell that Daniel Bryan really did most of the work, at least from my opinion, and that Cass, whether it was just rust from coming back from the injury or inexperience, that you could see the difference in the caliber of talent in that match. And when Daniel Bryan's return is fresh and new, and you kind of want to see him, even if it's not immediately, see him in a program with somebody bigger, like next week's match against Samoa Joe, something I'm very excited for.
Yeah.
And with AJ Styles on the roster, his feud with The Miz, all of that around him, and they went with Big Cass.
See, I think I can see what you mean there. I mean, I really enjoyed, I guess maybe I was just blinded by it because I was really enjoying Big Cass's promos. So, I think he really worked on that while he was gone. Since he came back, I feel like the first one where he came out, he was showing personality and whatnot, and I
will give him that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's good to go here. I don't know about Daniel Bryan beating him clean. I shouldn't say I don't know about that because obviously that should happen. He's a far better wrestler and everything. So I don't think
Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts him. So now what you were mentioning there about you're excited for the Samoa Joe match, so am I, and I'm excited that it's a little bit of a build to it because again, I think since Daniel Bryan came back, they had him with Big Cass. He's already had that match with AJ, not full matches because, it got interrupted.
That
but
one barely counts.
Took him on with AJ, Jeff Hardy, and that. I was like, whoa, okay, pump the brakes. Let's not give away all these matches on SmackDown right away. We gotta again, let's build something. So yeah, I think the Samoa Joe match is. Well, I mean, it's a qualifying match, right, to Money in the Bank, but I don't think that's over, obviously. So
no, I think that will be the start to something.
The Miz, I love that feud. I feel like this one, there's so much. There's that whole little work shoot thing that happened a few years, or it's probably a year and a half ago now, right? And I just remember thinking, at the time, if Daniel Bryan could only wrestle again, right? And then here we are.
If you want to talk about WrestleMania built matches, there's a good example of just stretch that out and then have them kind of come close for the year.
Yeah.
And then just WrestleMania payoff.
See, I think, one of two ways they're going to go on this. Either they're going to get to it after this little, we see what happens with Money in the Bank and that, and they go for SummerSlam and have it, or they build right to WrestleMania, which I hope they do. And but I mean, I I love Miz as a heel, and just seeing the little subtleties that he throws in there. I mean, even on SmackDown when he got up to the top of the ramp, he did like a quick little like yes chant thing, right? Like he's just keeping that alive. He just keeps it festering, just reminding people that, you know what, this is going to happen eventually.
Or when he does the world famous it kicks.
Yes, yes, obviously stealing, taking him right out of Daniel Bryan's repertoire. So, all right,
I think it's time.
This is the point where we come to the show where I have to rub my head and just like. I don't even know where to begin with this. We saw one of the shittiest moments in WWE history this week. And that's a big statement because there's been a lot of
There's been some stinkers.
There's been some shit
I
over
would
the
say
years.
Worse than the old day. Worse than the Bailey, This Is Your Life.
Yeah. Oh, God, forgot about that one. Yeah.
Right? That's a tall order.
Yeah. So here we are. And, I just like, when you look up the shits, this is not even, not the shit, the shits. This is like just the definition of it, where you have Bobby Lashley in this feud with Sami Zayn, which, first of all, I'm just going to say it. Bobby Lashley would fucking destroy Sami Zayn in like 3 seconds. I can't even get behind this feud.
No.
I get like, the little chicken shit heel, like he's, just trying, but like
maybe a feud with Lashley against Zayn and Owens.
yes,
But
more believable. But, like, this is what they're doing with Bobby Lashley when they come back. And they, when he came back, it looked like they were going to establish him as and he should be another player. I mean, look at the guy. He's
Lashley
got
versus
history.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a dream match.
I think that's what people were thinking as soon as he came back. I mean, this guy helped the president of the United States shave Vince McMahon's head.
Are you talking about WWE Hall of Famer Donald J. Trump?
Yes, Donald J. Trump. Him, that man that we all, get to hear about so much each and every day now. Hi to our American listeners there, by the way. So, all right. So, Bobby Lashley, they bring him back here. They get him in this thing with Sami Zayn. They have awkward interviews with Renee Young, which I was on the fence about. I didn't know. It was something different. So I was like, okay, I appreciate that they're trying to do something here. Obviously pump him up as a baby face. He's like sharing some like family stories and smiling the whole time.
Then, like, to bring up that dirty word TNA again, Lashley was really good on the mic in TNA.
Yeah.
And this just felt like a huge step back.
Oh, for sure. So they bring him in, and then all of a sudden, Sami Zayn, I'm going to bring out Bobby Lashley's sisters, which before it even happened, because he teased it the week before, I was like, what the fuck who cares?
Yeah.
Like, why? So you bring out his sisters. What is this going to prove? Like, what? So, you somehow, like, are on his sister, turning his sisters against him? Is that your goal? Or, like, what is this? And then, of course, I think we could all see it coming.
It could be so much worse.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah. So, and I think, when he gets out there with his goofy smile and dance, I do love Zayn as a heel because I appreciate the fact that he was able to keep the same entrance music and
make it work.
Make it just from before. I used to love, like, he kind of dance around with him as he comes out, and now he just changes up his dance and his facial expression a bit, and you're like, fuck you. Like, I hate
what
this
a
guy.
dick.
Yeah. Look at this
Why
asshole.
are you so happy?
Yeah,
you should be miserable,
around.
you terrible man.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, of course, he brings out the three sisters. They didn't even try. I mean, one had a mustache.
Let's use sisters in air quotes at best. They brought out three sisters.
Three sisters.
With a mustache and dreadlocks. And
three terrible workers by the looks of it. At least one. I don't know if you found that, but like he couldn't even take his one bump over the rope.
I saw that.
With Bobby Lashley throwing him, like the man's 300 pounds
Everything
of solid
is on
muscle.
your side here, and you couldn't do it. I love stuff like that, though, in the way that it always comes back where, like, oh, this guy debuted in NXT. Here's him 3 years ago playing one of Bobby Lashley's sisters. Like, oh, here's when Braun Strowman was what was his name? A Rosebud.
Oh, yes.
Just stuff like that.
Well, yeah, and we get a lot of that now with No Way Jose and his little, like, conga train, that we're definitely going to pick him out.
That is a stain, a solid stain that nothing will remove from those three careers right there.
I'm trying to think of some of those. We got to go back and look at some of those at some point, too. I mean, I remember, like, Ryback is, like, a security guard or something.
Becky Lynch was a Rosebud.
Yes, Becky Lynch. So, yeah, there's a bunch of those gems in there, which, hopefully we will see. Well, you know what? No, I hope we never see any of them ever again. Like, I don't want to even hear this segment brought up in the, after.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan at all?
From time to time, yes.
We need the shame bell for this one.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we're going to sub that in just so that, it was disgusting. It was borderline, not borderline. It was very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, crowd silence as soon as they come out.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
And then let's go to the mic, and the one's carrying a helmet or something, and it's just like I honestly tuned out because all I could think about the entire time was how fucking bad it was. I was just like, no, please end this. Of course, Bobby Lashley comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's going to act like oh, these are my sisters, blah blah blah, and then just beat the shit out of them.
But he did the exact opposite.
Yeah,
he went along with it.
I know.
Who thought that was a good idea?
I know.
It's just great
My head hurts.
because no matter how great the WWE gets, and there's a lot of forward movement and incredible matches, as long as who's in charge is in charge, this redneck ass stuff is just going to always pop its head in every now and then.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. We've seen so much goofy shit actually work over the years that I feel like they just think, we'll take a stab in the dark. This worked before. It was funny when, freaking Kurt Angle had a tiny cowboy hat, so let's try this.
So let's dress 3 men up as women, damn it.
You can just imagine Vince backstage killing himself, too. He looks just like Bobby Lashley. Oh, fuck. And I don't know where to get, now.
I got a helmet because he hit me. Why do you need a broom?
I just want this feud to end as quick as possible. Bobby, I felt bad for him because as he's, throwing these people out of the ring and that and trying to pander to the crowd, I think he spanked the one or something.
Yeah.
And they're all like, no, just stop. We don't want to see this
segment and go on to the next one.
Yeah, we just don't want to see this. So I don't want to see anything like that ever again.
But you will.
But you will. That is the scary part. It really is. I don't know. It's going to happen again. So, all right. Well, that's 6 topics.
That's our 6.
There we
Feeling
go.
good.
That is 6. Now, you know what? I thought of something we should do here.
All right.
To kind of end off each podcast.
Eventually, we will have questions here.
Yeah.
So we will work towards that.
Yeah. So we'll have a Q&A session right here. Let's just lay out kind of our plans, I guess, right now for the future, since this is episode 0001 again. Yeah, we will have a logo at some point.
Yep, we will have album art.
Yep,
we'll have a YouTube. Mm-hmm. That'll be big plans.
Yep. We'll have theme music.
It won't just be a cold start like you probably heard at the beginning of this show.
Yep. We'll have T-shirts and fanny packs, and we'll see about that. We'll see when we get there.
Reach for the stars there, my friend.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but this is, again, if you are catching episode 0001, you can tweet us at 6packcast. Please give it a follow. You can recommend it to friends if you liked what you heard. And I know there's, 19,846 wrestling podcasts out there, but I feel like this is a good one.
This is a gooder.
This is a good one. Mm-hmm. So that's the way we're selling it here.
Love and listen to every single week.
And you know what? I also can't wait until we look back on this one and be like, what a fucking shit show episode number 1 was.
So to go into a bit of personal history, this is my second podcast marriage.
Yeah, let's hear you've been in the podcast game before. Maybe you have some fans out there already that want to hop over.
I'll be tweeting. Mm-hmm. And if you've come over from the previous podcast, welcome. Yeah. Welcome to this journey. Mm-hmm. But I recently did that with the old show and went back and listened because we did an episode 0.
Okay.
And oh, brother. It's a brutal one. So can't wait to listen to this one day.
Yeah. Or hey, maybe this will be the best we ever get and it's all downhill from here. That could happen too.
There's a chance.
Yep. So follow us on Twitter, and I'll be tweeting out from my personal Twitter too. It'll be on there. I'm verified on Twitter.
Oh man!
For some fucking reason.
That's why you're hosting this. You're a pretty big deal. They don't give that blue check mark to just anybody.
No, I'm like a real person.
I don't have a blue check mark.
Yeah, I know. There's some celebrities out there that don't even have the blue chip. You know what? We should look up the biggest wrestler out there that doesn't actually have a blue check mark. I feel like someone it'll be like,
probably on the indies.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this to finish it off. We're going to do the 1, 2, 3 game.
We'll do the 1, 2, 3 game.
The 1, 2, 3 game. This is what happens here. So Keith and I, every time to end off the podcast, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to shout a random wrestler at the same time. And one of these times, I swear it's going to happen, one of these times it's actually going to match up. Mm-hmm. And now we've not planned this at all, obviously. Nope. We've not talked ahead of time. We don't know who we're going to shout. You can grab anyone from any era of WWE and shout it out. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, so
I feel like eventually we're going to need to theme this just so it has a shot, but
yeah, well, we'll see.
It's broad right now.
We'll see.
We'll
okay.
reach for the stars.
So 1, 2, 3.
Shannon Moore.
So,
oh, okay.
that was a practice run, so okay. Shannon Moore has been wiped out. I'm not going to use Shannon Moore here. Do you have someone else lined up?
Yes.
Okay, but this was perfect. That was perfect timing and everything. Now that we know how to do it, ready?
All right, so this is for real.
This is for real. This is happening. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Daivari.
Mordecai and Daivari came up today.
At least the same generation.
Yes.
I can see where your head's at.
Yeah, we are 0 for 1. I never want to speak Mordecai's name on this again.
What's wrong with Mordecai?
Mordecai, the failed white Undertaker?
Yeah,
no. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
All right, that's going to do it. We're going to play ourselves out with the theme music right now that doesn't exist. But
so, enjoy hearing this imaginary music?
Yeah, you can. You know what? Just put your favorite song in your head right now. And remember to tweet those erotic WWE images to @SixPackCast. And we'll talk to you next time.